no deeper than. The Abyss. It is the 1989 underwater sci-fi adventure drama from director James Cameron. The plot. After the crew of a submersible, the USS Ohio, comes into contact with something, and they end up losing control of the sub and all dying, a deep-sea drilling platform is the closest to reach them and survey the damage. Accompanied by some Navy SEALs operatives, they make their way into the abyss. How could they know that that something was still down there? This is not a horror film. It is, as I said, a sci-fi adventure drama with some minor thriller aspects. Think of it as if Lords of the Deep had a budget. I watched the special edition, and from what I've read, it is the more desirable choice. There's lots of character development, and even a subplot involving the US and Russians, almost starting World War III, that didn't make it into the theatrical cut. Speaking of the characters, I thought for the longest time Bruce Willis was the main character. I don't know why. I saw this when I was a kid, and that's who I thought it was. Ed Harris plays the main character, Bud Brigman. He is an easygoing captain that follows the rules and orders of his superiors. And to get along with everyone on his team members, well, all except Lindsay Brigman, played by Mary Elizabeth Mastrantani, plays the character of Bud Brigman's ex-wife. It's not final, and she does seem kind of like a bitch at first. However, as the film progresses, we see more of her character changing for the better. Michael Biehn, yes, that Michael Biehn from Aliens and The Terminator, plays the almost unrecognizable Lieutenant Coffey. He looks nothing like he used to. I thought it was a jaw-dropping surprise when I was writing this review, looked up the info, and found that out. Lieutenant Coffey is a man under a lot of pressure. He suffers from a decompression sickness that he succumbs to pretty early on in the movie. It drives him into a shaking insanity. And I don't know if he would have acted much differently if he hadn't been affected by it, but I guess we'll never know. I thought I'd mention that this is Kimberly Scott's first movie. She had made an appearance in the show A Man Called Hawk prior, but other than that, she was brand new. I think she does a great job and adds a decent charisma to an all-around lively cast. Speaking of the cast and characters, they are a strong crew aboard a vessel that is in a world unknown to us. They all get along, there's no fighting, and I think that having a great cast helps add to that. Only when the presence of the Navy SEALs is seen, then the crew quickly dismisses them as nothing but a stock military folk. For a film made in 1989, its overall scope is amazing. The effects work is incredible. Although there is some iffy green screen effects, it still looks better than it did in Aliens. Let's get into those effects, shall we? The gore, the effects. No gore. It is a friendly movie, with an even friendlier appearance to it. While, yes, some of the effects are meh, for the time this was made, they are incredible. Not only are we sucked into a brand new world, but we see things that are just astonishing. The odd thing is that there are barely any fish in this movie, at least from what I didn't see. I also wanted to touch on the cinematography. Goodness gracious, it's amazing. The rays of light and overall color bring an eye-catching and color-popping vivid appearance to what is usually a dark and foreboding place. The motion picture soundtrack, Alan Silvestri, who composed Predator 1 and 2, does a magnificent job composing a score that brings awe and wonder to the screen. It's pleasant as well as fitting. Some of the military's themes are welcomed as well. This movie bombed at the box office. It cost $70 million and only took in around $90 million. It was the most expensive film made at that time too. However, working on The Abyss was anything but a good time. Some of the cast, including Ed Harris, refused to talk about this movie. I get that it was a big undertaking, so of course Mr. Cameron would be hard on them. However, I don't know the full story, so I will have to go back and watch the special features. All in all, this is a wonderful movie to experience, with mostly amazing effects and a great cast of characters. It stands out above most movies of its time. Seeing this as a kid, I remember wishing there was a monster. However, plenty of films from around this time had the same story with a monster, so I got my fix. In my opinion, it is not the best underwater movie, but it is far from the worst. Overall, I give The Abyss a 3 out of 5. I am Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Entertainment. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below and leave comments and subscribe.